Hello my precious friends, I really hope that you're doing great. Welcome to today's class. It's our 17th lesson on a given Form 3 mathematics topic called Commercial Arithmetics 2. So we are looking at our 31st example on income tax, which reads that in the tax year of 2010, the tax of Kamau's monthly income was 10,880 shillings and 50 cents. If he is entitled to a tax relief of 1156 Kenya shillings, find part A, the gross tax of Kamau. So the first thing is to identify the values that we are already given. We are told that in the tax year of 2010, the tax of Kamau's monthly income was 10,880 shillings and 50 cents. So of course, this is what we are calling the net tax or the payee. So we are already given the net tax, or what we are calling the payee. Of course, it is a payee because it is monthly. So the net tax you are given as Kenya shillings. We are having 10,880 and 50 cents. Of course, this is shillings per month. Then you are told that he is entitled to a tax relief of 1156. So we are given relief or the tax relief of Kenya shillings 1156. Then of course this is also per month. So part A, they want us to get the gross tax of Kamau. So of course we look for a formula connecting the net tax, the relief, and also the gross tax. That's the question wants us to get. Of course the formula will be the formula for the net tax. So the net tax, which is also called the payee, the net tax or the payee is always equal to the gross tax. The gross tax, also called the total tax, the gross tax minus a total relief, minus the total relief. But of course, for this case, we are only given one relief, which is a tax relief of 1156. So this should be the total relief. So if I substitute the values that I already have, I have the net tax, which is 10,880 and 50 cents. So I'm having Kenya shillings 10,880 and 50 cents. Then of course this is per month, which is equal to the gross tax, which is the unknown, minus my total relief. I'm only given one relief of 1156 shillings per month. So if you want to get the gross tax, of course, I'm going to take this particular value to the other side so that it becomes a positive. Therefore, my gross tax, the gross tax will be equal to, I'll take Kenya shillings 10,880 and 50 cents per month. Of course, if it crosses equal sign, the negative will change to a positive. So plus 1156, this is shillings per month. So if you take 10,880 then and 50 cents, then plus 1156, your calculator is going to give you Kenya shillings of 12,036 and 50 cents. Then of course this is shillings per month. Therefore, our gross tax, which is also called the total tax, the gross tax of the total tax, will be 12,036 shillings and 50 cents per month. Then we check part B of the question, whereby we are told to find the taxable income in shillings per month. So of course, for us to get the taxable income, the first thing we need to perform the taxation. So because we don't have the taxable income, so we cannot convert our taxable income into the units of the table. Therefore, we'll just work with the table exactly the way it is written. So we're going to start with the first slab, or what we call the first bracket. So of course, we'll pick the first amount here, which is 484. Then we're going to multiply with our tax rate. Now we need to interpret this part here. So this part simply means that this particular person is paying a tax of 2 shillings. So the first amount always takes the first value here. So the person is paying a tax. He is paying a tax of 2 shillings for every Kenyan pound. A tax of 2 shillings for every 1 Kenyan pound that he's going to earn. So what about the amount of 484? Of course, this is money that is being earned. Then this particular amount is coming from the table. Remember, the table is in Kenyan pounds per month. So this one is in Kenyan pounds then per month. So what about this? So if you do cross multiplication, we're going to have the Kenyan pound, which is being earned of 484. Then of course this is per month. Then so this is money that is being earned. So we'll divide with 1 Kenyan pound that is supposed to be earned. Then of course we multiply with a tax. We multiply with a tax of 2 shillings that is being deducted for every 1 Kenyan pound. So clearly you can see that the Kenyan pounds will cancel out. Therefore, our final answer will remain to be in shillings, then of course per month. So our final answer must be in shillings per month. So whatever we are going to get here, it must be in shillings, then per month. Then clearly you can see that every value we are going to be multiplying by 2. So it means that 484 should be multiplied by 2. Then whatever answer we get, it must be in Kenya shillings, then of course per month. So the first value here, we are going to have the following. So you take 484, then you multiply by 2. Your calculator is going to give you 968 shillings, 968 shillings. We move to the second slab. So we go to the second slab, or what we call the second bracket. To get the amount of the second slab, we subtract these two. We just take 940. You take 940, then of course minus 484. So this will be, I'll borrow one here. This is 3, 1. Of course, this will be 6. Then I'll borrow one. This is 8. This is 1. This will be 5. Then of course this will be 4. So I'll get 456. So I'm going to have 456. Then this should be multiplied with a tax rate of 456 will be rhyming with a tax rate of 3. Remember, the interpretation here is that a tax of 2 shillings, that is a tax of 3 shillings, is being deducted for every 1 Kenyan pound that is being earned. So there is a tax of 3 shillings, 3 Kenya shillings, which is being deducted for per pound. That is for every 1 Kenyan pound that is earned. So we'll ask ourselves, what about the 456 pounds that is being earned? So what about 456? 456. Remember, 456 from the table is in Kenyan pound per month. So this is in Kenyan pounds, then per month. Then of course this is amount that is being earned. So if you do cross multiplication, this will be, you'll take the Kenyan pound of 456, then of course per month, which is being earned. Then you're going to divide with 1 Kenyan pound that is being earned. Then you multiply with a tax. You multiply with a tax of 3 shillings that is being deducted. So clearly you can see that the Kenyan pounds will cancel out. So our answer will remain to be in shillings per month, which is the same as these shillings per month. Then of course our answer, that is the 456, is supposed to be multiplied by 3. So you take 456 multiplied by 3. Your calculator should give you 1,368 shillings. So it means that in the remaining brackets, we're going to repeat the same process. So we go to our third slab. So the third slab, we are going to have, we'll find the difference between these two. You take 1196. It is 1396. So we are having 1396, then minus 940. minus 940. So the difference, this will be 6, this will be 5, then of course 0, 1, this will give us 456. So this will be 456, then multiplied by, the tax rate here is 4. So you take 456 multiplied by 4, your calculator will give you 1,824 shillings. We move to the fourth slab. So the fourth slab, we're going to find the difference between these two. So you take 1852, then minus 1852 minus 1396. So the difference will be, this will be 4, this is 12, this will be 6, this is 7, 14, this will be 5, then of course this will be 4, then 0. So we'll still have 456. Then 456 should be multiplied with a tax rate of 5. So you take 456 multiplied by 5, your calculator will give you 2,280 shillings. Then you move to the last tax bracket, which is our fifth slab. So remember, to get the amount in the fifth slab, we usually take the taxable income. You take the taxable income minus the last amount that is coming before, immediately before the last bracket, which is 1852. So we're going to subtract 1852. Then the tax rate here is 6. So multiplied by 6, this one is supposed to give us a certain amount that of course will be remaining. So to get that amount, remember we already have the gross tax from part A of the question. So from part A, our gross tax was in Kenya shillings per month, which was 12,036 shillings, then of course and 50 cents. So our gross tax here was in Kenya shillings, which was 12,036 shillings and 50 cents. Then of course this was per month. It was 12,036 and 50 cents. Then of course this was per month. So to get the amount that was remaining here, we are going to add the upper values that we have. Then of course we subtract from our total. So we need to add this amount plus this one plus this one plus this. So if you take 968, then you add 1368, then you add to 1824, then you add to 2280. You feed this on your calculator. That is 968 plus 1368 plus 1824 plus 2280. Your calculator should give you 6,440 shillings. So this particular total, from here up to this point, the total is 6,440 shillings. So to get the remaining amount here, we are going to subtract the 6,440 from our total of 12,036 and 50 cents. Remember, this is what you are calling the gross tax, or the total tax, the gross tax or the total tax. So to get that difference, we're going to take 12,000 then and 36 shillings and 50 cents. Then we'll subtract 6,440 shillings. You find this difference on your calculator. Your calculator should give you 5,596 and 50 cents. So the remaining amount here is 5,596 96 and 50 cents. So the purpose of getting that particular amount is to help us solve for the value of the taxable income. Now from this particular point, I want to pick this equation here. So I want us to consider this equation here, this one here. So I'm having a taxable income. So this is taxable income minus 1852, then multiplied by 6. This should give us a 5,596 and 50 cents. So of course I'm going to divide through by 6 on both sides of the equation, so that I remain with the taxable income minus 1852 being equal to, you take 55.96 and 50 cents divided by 6. Your calculator should give you 932 shillings and 75 cents. So to get the taxable income, I'll take this to the other side. So the taxable income should be equal to 932 and 75 cents, then plus 1852. Therefore, our taxable income will be, you take 932 and 75 cents plus 1852. Your calculator should give you 2,784 and 75 cents. That is 27.84 and 75 cents. Then another point to note, the taxable income will always be in the units of the table. Remember, before we start the process of taxation, we usually ensure that the taxable income is rhyming with our table. Therefore, our table was in Kenyan pounds per month. It was in Kenyan pounds per month. Therefore, it means that our taxable income that we've gotten here is also in Kenyan pounds per month. So always remember that taxable income will always take the units of the table, because before we start the taxation, that is usually the first step. We usually ensure that the taxable income and the table are rhyming. So because our table was in Kenyan pounds per month, it means that our taxable income is also in Kenyan pounds per month. But the question wanted us to get the taxable income in shillings per month. Therefore, we need to convert our value into shillings. We know that 1 Kenyan pound is equals to 20 Kenya shillings. Therefore, it means that our taxable income in Kenya shillings, that is per month, will be equal to, so we'll take the Kenyan pound, which is 2,784 and 75. This is shillings per month. Then of course we divide with 1 Kenyan pound, then multiplied by 20 Kenya shillings, so that the pounds will cancel out. So our answer, our taxable income, will be equal to, you take 27.84 and 75 cents multiplied by 20. Your calculator will give you Kenya shillings 55,695 shillings per month. Therefore, this will be our taxable income. Then part C, we are told that apart from the basic salary, Mr. Kamau earns also a house allowance of 12,000, a medical allowance of 3,060, and a hardship allowance of 4,635. Find his basic salary in shillings per month. So of course, we are going to employ the formula for the taxable income, because that formula has basic salary and the taxable allowances. So we know that taxable income, the taxable income is always equal to the basic salary, then plus taxable, plus the taxable allowances, because we are not given any non-taxable allowances. So our taxable income, we got it as 55 and 695. So this is in Kenya shillings. We are having 55 695. This is shillings per month. Should be able to give us the basic salary, which is the unknown basic salary, plus the taxable allowances. We are given a house allowance of 12,000. So I'll take 12,000, which of course is also in shillings per month. Then I'm going to add medical allowance of 3060, which is also in Kenya shillings per month. Then I add a hardship allowance of 4635. This is also in Kenya shillings per month. So we're going to have Kenya shillings of 55,695. This is shillings per month, being equal to the basic salary, then plus you take 12,000 12,000. I want to add these values. You take 12,000 plus 60 plus 4635. You feed that on the calculator. Your calculator will give you a total of 19,695. This is shillings per month. So 19,000 is gotten by adding 12,000 plus 3060 plus 4635. This will give you 19,695 shillings. Therefore, to get the basic salary, salary will be equal to, of course, I'll take this to the other side. So we'll have Kenya shillings 55,695. This is shillings per month. Then, of course, minus Kenya shillings 19,695. This is also shillings per month. So you take 55,695 minus 19,695. Your calculator will give you 36,000. So you'll get 36,000 shillings per month. Therefore, this was the basic salary for Mr. Kamau. Thank you very much for accompanying me until the end of this particular lesson. I do not take it for granted. In case you're new to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll get notified. Until next time, this is Kind Tuition Academy. Thank you very much.